Yes, THFC, what's happening? This goes out to all the THFC, Tottenham Hotspurs football fans, vloggers, bloggers, YouTubers, news reporters, etc. Is the grass always greener? Should we have stuck with Big Ange? Would the team be in this position if they was being managed by Big Ange? I don't think so. Because listening back to Mickey van der Vaart's interview, the squad had taught Big Ange a new style, a new dimension of football that he's never had to use before, which was once you start winning, learn how to park the bus and defend out the game. And that's what we saw in the Europa League final. And I genuinely believe if he had got Kudus, Paulinho, Jabi Simmons, who else was there? Gallagher. I'm going back from the summer. There's one more person, but I can't remember who it is. But anyway, yeah, I believe that squad, that team, will be running through walls for him. Just because he said what he done and he done what he said. And I think our old captain, Heung-min Son, would still be at Tottenham Hotspurs because he had that respect for Big Ange. And let's go back and remember the news came out, Son, Ange and Levy had a dinner and Son was like, you can't get rid of the man who's won something. So I think that plays a part with Son's exit. And I genuinely believe we wouldn't be seeing the Christian Romero that we're seeing now. And we wouldn't be seeing the Mickey that we're seeing now. We wouldn't see the Jed Spence that we're seeing now. We wouldn't see the Tell that wants to leave that we're seeing now. Because they all had that genuine respect for the manager. So I don't believe the grass was greener. And for me personally, if Thomas Frank was to stay in this job, he's got to finish in a European position. And I think game by game, that is getting harder and harder. So it's a funny one. And you know when I knew Thomas Frank was really just a guy that talks a good game, is when he chose for Christian Romero to be the club captain. That showed me he's got no cojones. He's got no belief in himself, and he doesn't really stand for what he says, as in Thomas Frank. Because imagine, your second day in the job, and your highest paid player says what he says and disrespects the new manager, and come 3-4 days later, that guy is chosen to be captain, where you had so many others to choose from. Don't get me wrong, Romero might have been one of the longest serving players there at the time, but so was Davis. Mickey van der Ven was there for a season or two. Do you know what I mean? Who else is there? Bentacore. You know? Maybe if Maddison was fit, Maddison could have been the captain. But he chose Romero. So he already showed to Romero that I'm going to let you do and say what you want. And I'm going to show you that you've got more authority than me. And I think that's disgusting. But maybe now that Romero has to sit out for 4 games, Thomas Frank might be just able to worm his way back into the squad and get them playing a Pacific way. Because this game tomorrow against Newcastle is a make or break game. Do you know what I mean? And obviously I don't want to lose any game. But if we was to lose, that should be the end of Thomas Frank for me. And as much as it hurts me to say, bring back Tim Sherwood and Harry Redknapp until the end of the season and just give them the last 12 games, man. At least the two of them will be able to solidify that team. And possibly out of the 12 games, we might win 8 and draw 2 and maybe lose 1. Because this just ain't good enough, man. It's just not good enough. I look at that squad and I think to myself, who in that squad respects Thomas Frank? Who in that squad would break another player's legs for Thomas Frank? I can't see anyone in that squad. Don't get me wrong, Shabby's been playing better. But he always seems to be upset after a loss and says some stuff to Thomas Frank that we never know what he's saying. But it just looks like that he's very upset. Do you know what I mean? But we need to win tomorrow at home and we need to get the 3 points. As always, come on you Spurs.